We're a little late.
We're a little late.
That's my fault.
Marty was drawing that picture of himself in the corner holding a bass.
I was. Hold on. Let's bring in here. That's better. There we go.
Oh yeah, way
There we
better
go.
now.
Now we got everybody.
We have to bring Paul. Paul's our spotlight guest. Look at that. He gets the big picture in the middle. He's the winner of last week. In fact,
Right.
usually they'll bring the winner on the next week, but he's just kind of going to take over tonight for these other guys. So
I can do them both. I know enough about both those kayaks. I'll talk about both of them.
And I got good questions for you too tonight. So
I'm ready.
And we got Chad for hookup baits. And these baits right here, man, I'm telling you what.
You're holding it up now.
Every day I gain more confidence in them.
And you talked about them today I was watching you live today for a little while.
Oh, you didn't even open that thing yet.
You hooked me up with too many. Okay.
He's saving
time ever.
He's saving that one. He's saving that one that you signed for like selling down in the future.
They last too long.
He's got this big sticker.
I got to decide what to do.
You guys are all.
Look at this. I even got a shirt on.
I thought about putting it on my wife's car.
See, Marty, that's where we differ because you thought about it. I did it.
As good as the baits are, and they're wonderful, I gotta say, my hookup bait sweater, being from the Midwest, it's that ultra premium, extra thick, dude. I'm here to tell you. Hey, wait, you got a gray one?
You got a gray one.
Yeah, that's the next edition.
That's cool.
Show them the back. Show them the back.
Which?
Yeah.
That's sick. Well, I got the one.
These are only available in Canada. Sorry.
Boo.
Okay. All right, wait.
Fine, I'll go to my place in Canada. I'm here for it because those hoodies are lit.
Yeah.
All right, hey
They're
guys.
so comfy, eh? These are
David,
the most
we got to
comfy
get
hoodies
David
ever.
some words here.
Yeah, sorry.
David from Wilder Side.
Hey, it's a pleasure. Hey, Marty, it's just a pleasure to be with you tonight. Thanks for allowing me to come on and talk a little bit about the Freedom Launcher and some of the experiences my customers are telling me about with this new product. And just happy to talk about it whenever there's time on the schedule. So, and actually, I have a little show and tell demo unit in the studio as well. So we can we'll do a demo whenever it makes sense to do that.
Okay,
so.
Cool. We got lots of stuff here, guys. Now we got
we'll
a lot of people.
We'll pull up your site too and watch that video that I watched today that you sent.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I can go there. We can go there in a bit.
Yeah, for sure we will.
Anyway, we got Chad, we got David, we got Paul representing the two guys that are not here tonight. You know what? I should put their picture on.
Pull up the photo. Show them the two bearded dudes that.
And anyway, Paul's going to tell us a little about their kayaks. And the other thing is we'll bring up theirs too. But I want to thank Chad for sponsoring this week. I did have a deal on the other page here. Sorry, Paul. D-Hooker, Yak Attack, and Hookup Baits. And then our battle sponsor is the Wilder Side.
Yeah, which is something cool you guys are going to see more about and learn about tonight.
Yeah, and by voting, people can win one of those Wild Side.
50% off. 50% off.
That sounds right.
I see it.
Their choice of one on the site.
Okay.
And just so those people out there know, they're going on sale, and you're going to get 50% off that sale price too. Or I think you might have extended that, right?
That's right.
Whoa!
So I did not free.
I did not read the 50% off. I just saw a win.
That's a monster win. That's legit.
Yeah, and this is a very cool product that not a lot of people know of. And Marty, it's kind of for your age category.
My age category. Hey, I can still put my kayak on the roof of my truck.
I know, but maybe you wouldn't have to anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we don't need all that. We don't have to do too much these days. Come on, man.
We want to keep you around. Work smarter, not harder, Marty.
Yeah, I need your back intact, bro.
That's roofing a Hobie Lynx on the top of his SUV, but he still has a set of wheels that
Yeah.
There's
I
a whole
do too.
story about that, so I'll tell you about that maybe later.
Yeah.
I put an Outback on top of my truck
Yeah, nice. Yep.
on one of them. The other one has a Lynx.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, let's
All
see.
these trucks and kayaks, nice. Must be nice.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get started here. But thanks, Keith, for being here. It's probably been a busy week for everybody, I'll bet.
Oh yeah, it's been good.
Seasons are winding down, except for Chad. California is going to have tournaments year round. It don't matter there.
Yeah, the tournaments never stop here. Really.
We had our national championship last week down in Gunnersville, and man, it showed out. It was unreal.
There you go.
And
Out for you. How many?
what's that?
How many people?
100, about 100.
Okay. Good.
And I think Wyatt Hammond was the champion again, second year in a row, and he also won the Bassmasters. So Wyatt Hammond right now is the #1 kayak bass angler in the country, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
Nice.
And then I would say Justin Faircloth is up there too. Of course, Russ Snyder's is always in the hunt. He placed as well there. And then Garrett Wade. He has 2 first names. Garrett Wade is a 3-time Angler of the Year, and he also placed and made the 10. I made the 10, believe it or not. The oldest guy ever to do that. I don't even belong there. And it was quite a deal. It's pretty fun. The Gunnersville is just a special place, guys, to kayak fish. So anyway, let's talk about some hookup baits first. And tell us about what's going on there, and then we'll get into the kayaks here in a bit after you talk to David too. So what's going on?
First,
Chad?
I got to say before Chad says anything is I told him about the podcast this week. I'm like, you coming on Wednesday? And he said, no, it's not my week. It's Jeff and Justin. I'm like, yeah, but your company is sponsoring it. Oh, right. I'm next week.
Yeah. My life is crazy busy here. I don't pay attention to details. I just go. And but I just got back from a week last week at Cedros Island, which is an island off of Baja, Mexico. That was awesome. We were the last trip there. We go every year, where we're the last group to go to the island every year. So there's like 5 resorts on the Cedros Island, all fishing resorts, and they all closed down like a month ago. And so we always go a month after everyone closes down. We get the whole island to ourselves.
Wow.
The boat, there's 6 of us, 3 on. It wasn't kayaks, but he has kayaks. It's Jeff's place down there. So it used to be those kayak fishing.
Yeah.
So he still has kayaks, but we just do the pongas. It's a little bit funner, and you cover a lot more area and everything else. And the 3 on my ponga, we caught 26 yellowtail altogether between the 3 of us, up to 44 pounds. So on hookup baits. So all the calico bass you could possibly want.
Oh, hey, is that trip going next year?
Yeah, we go every year.
I'll be ready. Fine.
Hey, give me a call.
Yeah. It's a fantastic place. The service and the accommodations and the food is just amazing.
Yeah. But you go in November?
Pretty much every year it's November.
So even though they're shut down, they still run the lodge, or is it kind of shut down and getting stuff out of there?
There's people that stay there, live there year round. It just everyone's just has their season of they stop in October.
Right.
But we go the 1st of November after everyone stops. So that's just kind of been our because when you're full swing in summer, with the 5 resorts, everyone fishes the same spots and it gets crowded a little bit and stuff. There's plenty of fish to catch after the season, so I rather and we never have a problem catching fish, so I rather just catch fish without people there. How we roll. So
is that in boats or kayaks or both?
Pongas.
He's in Pongas.
Pongas. Those are those big, wide open boats, right?
Yeah, the big Mexican boats, I guess, fishing boats. So they're comfortable. It's fun.
How is let me ask you this though, Chad. How is the popularity of the hookup baits going since we since we've been to Canada?
Canada, we get about, I'd say 3 orders from Canada a week now.
It's kind of funny how like Paul and Marty never open their cardboard package.
Oh no, hey.
All opened is look at that.
He just opened it. It's brand new. It's never seen water.
That's used. Look at that. It's even got a deal.
I would
tight.
challenge you after fishing these. How would you know? These friggin' things, dude. You can't
They
kill
last,
them.
yeah.
You sent me like 5 packages. Like, this is 100 years worth of bait. I will be dead before these baits are dead.
Yeah. Did you guys see the bass I caught last week or the weekend before at the Colorado River? I caught some nice ones. I caught a 7 and a 6 pounder in the evening.
Dang.
So, yeah, that was a nice little evening thing. And
Yeah. Chad was up here fishing with me in Revelstoke, and he slayed a bunch of massive trout while he was up here.
yeah. So that video is about to come out. So right now you'll see the shorts of it. You know, our editors in Florida just got done with the video. And so they always start putting out shorts and then the whole video from fishing with you in Canada and with Van Dam and Zona and all them. So it's going to be a 2-part. There's one that's going to show the whole trip from when I arrive to when I leave. Then there's going to be another one that's just fishing with the Hall of Famers.
Sweet.
That should be out next week probably. So look for that on the Hook Up Baits YouTube page.
Will do.
Catching big bull trout, British Columbia, with Keith.
Yeah. Mostly Keith was your taxi driver because Keith was working.
Keith was my drop off and pickup guy.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Mission was accomplished. The Hall of Famers caught bull trout. So.
These were like one teaser, some of the fish Chad was catching.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Got his website up, you guys. I put up some plugs for you this week because I the Nico. I use the Nico rig.
Chad doesn't use plugs, just hookup baits.
I'm just saying though that I thought the Nico rig caught everything. This thing is like a gigantic vacuum cleaner. The way it works, it will literally if you're dropping it down, whatever is swimming by grabs it.
So we had one of our ambassadors, which was a bass guide up at Clear Lake, Central California, and he used to fish the BASS tour. Yeah, it's a guy named Don Brown. And I started fishing with him. I'd go up to Clear Lake every year and fish Lake Oroville and stuff. And that's actually his nickname for me was the vacuum. He goes, when you're on the front of the boat, you're like a vacuum. You just vacuum every fish around. The guy in the back don't have a chance.
Isn't that something? I mean, Nico means exactly that. The guy that invented it was the bait that catches everything like a vacuum cleaner. Well, no, the Nico's good, but the hookup bait is like unbelievable.
Yeah,
it just
every fish eats a bait fish, and that hookup bait just melts bait fish like super. So,
I mean, I literally when it was going good today because it was we had calm wind, no wind and no sun for a while, and it was no bite. And then when the sun came out, I got bit on every drop.
So Chad, as first of all, thanks to you and JoJo and Hookup Baits for being a bracket sponsor, which is awesome, of the YakOffs. And this is you did the first part of your bracket, and now this is like kind of the last part of your bracket for the quarterfinals.
Yep.
A lot of these people don't. I think it's a wicked time for you to just tell them. I know the story, but how did Hookup Baits develop? And talk about the swimming pool and all that stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah, you want the semi-long version?
Yeah, and then after that, we're gonna hear David and his story about all that stuff. But but this is kind of your
we have a good story of how Hookup Baits started. So I'll go through it real quick. And so I've been a pro staff trout fisherman basically since I was a teenager. So just trout fishing was my main thing. And it was fishing the mini jigs, but it was the mini jigs with the tails like this, right? And 30 plus years of sight fishing and trout fishing and everything else through the years, and what made that trout bite and what didn't make that trout bite and everything else. And then also just using a mini jig, you catch bass and crappie and catfish and everything. And then being in Southern California, then I worked on boats when I was a teenager here in California, the sport boats and stuff. And so I knew mini jig or the jigs, if you just made them bigger, would catch saltwater fish too. And nobody's really ever made saltwater jigs.
Hang on, Marty. I can't see
Yeah.
Chad anymore. I can only see the video.
You can't see Chad?
I think
It's hard. He's right behind that giant video.
I think
Yeah.
he's hiding behind his logo.
Okay. I thought it was in front, but
And
okay,
so
got it.
And so, through the years, I had the idea of what a hookup bait was. I wanted it to fall better, have less chance. Once like a jig's like this, like it gets it or whatever, once one of those tails flip over the hook, that bait no longer swims right. And then it spins. Every time you jig it, it goes like this, right? And
Marty, close the website, Marty. I think everything's getting. Are you guys hearing the same thing?
I don't even know.
Okay, here we go.
And anyways, and so that drove me nuts. If my jig is not running exactly straight, it always drove me nuts, right? And so I was like, there's got to be a way to make a jig where it doesn't foul up, and it's always running straight and everything else. And then I was like, and if you make the body where it's the body kind of the main design came from making it straight without the tails. But then when I started developing it and throwing it in swimming pools and being in the water, watching it fall and everything else, when a regular jig, like it gets it or something, falls, it's L-shaped. It's falling, the tails go up this way, and the body's this way. So it's L-shaped. It loses profile. So it doesn't look like a fish. It doesn't look like nothing as it's falling, right? And it's the same thing with swim baits or anything else. Most all the plastics that are on the market will be L-shaped when they're falling. Where the hookup baits keep the profile. They stay the profile. So they're falling and they're looking like something real as they're falling because they keep the profile. But then by keeping that profile, it makes it glide. It's like the hull of a boat. It glides it out. It catches the water and makes it glide. So it has a ton of glide.
That's why you don't blink on the sink.
That's why you don't blink on the sink.
It swirls too. That's like my favorite. Those smaller ones, they like swirl. They like death spiral.
Yeah.
And I let those. I leave the bail open. It's the best.
So anyway, the action of them, there's a lot of it was developing, being thrown in the swimming pool, watching it fall. And I wanted them to sit. If you just hold them in the water, they sit exactly like Marty's holding them. So they're balanced. They sit just like a fish.
Yeah.
If you put it down in the structure and just hold it there, it's going to sit correctly, right? And so they get bit very well just sitting. Then when you twitch them, then they got a lot of dart. They do all kinds of dart, or if you just wind them, they wiggle. So they have a really good dart and wiggle to them. So they're one of the only baits in the world that does its action to get bit from when the moment it hits the water to when you take it out of the water. So it's doing its action on the way down to get bit. You stop it, it's doing its action to get bit. And then when you start retrieving, it's doing its action to get bit. There's very few lures that do that, where it's doing what it needs to do to get bit the whole time it's in the water. So I had the idea, the design of that bait, and for 5 to 8 years, and meeting JoJo, I was dating JoJo, and she comes from a fishing family, and she's a savvy businesswoman. She has a financial planning business. She built herself, and she had a customer base that was kind of like on cruise control, and actually I was moving to Alaska to become a guide, and she didn't want me to go. So she's like, come be a guide in San Diego and this and that. And I was living 2 hours inland from San Diego. And San Diego doesn't work like that. I just wanted to go live in a lodge. And my job was to take people fishing and keep them alive. I didn't want to I was already had a business before hookup baits. And I sold it. And I just wanted to fish for a living. And then, so she was like, trying to figure out how to keep me in San Diego. And all of a sudden, a little light bulb went up. Ding. Businesswoman, fishing family, I got an idea. And I looked her straight in the eye and I said, I can make the best, most versatile bait ever made. And she's like, really? I go, yeah. She goes, you ever made one? I'm like, nope. But it's here. If I get here, and make it a thing, it will be super versatile and it will catch every fish alive, saltwater and freshwater. She's like, okay, let's do it. So she's like, let's go 50-50. She handles the business side of it. I do
You go fishing.
the design and the promoting and all that, and run the shop. And we were figuring it was just going to be like a garage company, kind of, make enough to pay for my fishing and pay for my side of the rent kind of thing or whatever. And it was that for about two or 3 years. And then, man, it's really taken off. We need to get a shop. And we were in that shop for 3 to 4 years, outgrew that shop. And now we're in a twice as big shop, and it just keeps on growing. And we have 20 full-time employees making baits 40 hours a week. And we're still way behind on.
And it's the 10-year anniversary.
We cannot keep up. So yeah, 10 years anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
Yeah. Wow. That's the sweater that
Keith is wearing. These only available in Canada sweaters that say 10
years. By the way, they're available at hookupbaits.com.
Get them there, incredible.
If you live in Canada.
Are they in stores anywhere?
We're in like almost probably 400 stores, but with all the Bass Pros on the West Coast, we're in Sportsman's Warehouse. There's a big chain.
You can brag, Chad. You can brag about that Bass Pro thing a little bit. Come on.
What do you mean? I said all the Bass Pros on the West Coast.
But the number one.
Oh yeah, well, all the Bass Pros in West Coast, we are the number one selling bait in Bass Pros.
Jeez.
Congrats.
And all the West Coast.
No big deal.
I forgot.
You're going to be
moon pie things you guys sell down there.
Yeah.
You're going to be number one in the Midwest pretty soon.
Well, yeah, you keep at it, Marty.
Yeah, look at this thing. Look at real close how much it got bit up.
Yeah, that thing's all chewed up. Got fuzzy.
You've been chewing
on
that
getting fuzzy. Yeah, when they're all bit up like that, that's getting fuzzy.
So, they look more. I think they look more realistic when they get bit up. Even
sometimes they get bit really good when they're chewed up like that. Yeah,
Chad, you got to talk real quick. I know we got to switch it up here in a little bit, but tell us about the durability, because I'll be honest, that was like the biggest surprise for me is that I used fishing and salt for 4 days, whatever, 5 days, fishing them straight, like from sun up to sundown, and I only used like 6 total, and and I never lost one when I'm ever broke or fell apart, I just broke off.
Yeah,
big fish bit me off. That's the only loss that I took.
Yeah, they are super durable. Just the design of them makes them super durable. It's like with a swim bait, you usually get the tail bit off or the knob bit off. A lot of times, or once you catch a fish or two, the where it goes onto the collar of the lead head gets all ripped up and it doesn't stay on the lead head. Where a hookup bait, you don't have those problems. You don't have a tail to be bit off, and you don't have the lead head is in it. It's not going to come off that lead head for a while.
If you do, Chad has a product called Mend It.
Yeah, and Mend It works fantastic on it.
Mend It's legit
a lot. Yeah, we sell Mend It on our site. Just
Dude, that's awesome.
Chad, I also want to mention that you also offer a scent, and you guys you can stick that up in this bait.
Careful, Marty.
Watch what you're saying, Marty. This is PG. PG.
Oh yeah. Well, you can put the scent on this bait, but I use that Thumper scent as well.
Mm-hmm.
I used that today. It's called Thumper.
Yeah.
And it worked pretty good too on there. But the scent helps it because the fish know what's going on. But
that definitely helps sometimes. And we have with our brand is called Mermaid's Milk, and it's specially made to go inside the hookup bait, the tube part of the hookup.
That I have a tube
of it, because if you get a lot or just oily, you put it inside the bottle, you just throw it back out. You get stuff that's too thick that you can't put inside. Then we also have the right bottle, with a little nozzle on it, so you can stick it in there and fill her up.
Dude, the amount of garlic that it comes with, though, it's obscene. And I think you're going to be okay for a couple of trips.
Yeah, so I will say this. When I went down to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame event, and Chad and JoJo sent Chad
while I was there.
I am on the board. Chad and JoJo sent like a package, and I displayed it on the table with all these other prizes everywhere. And when you walked by, and I can't smell very well anyway since COVID, but I could smell the garlic coming off that prize table.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty strong.
So Michael Thomas, who's a bait maker here in Nebraska, he said, "What would be the greatest tip on making baits?"
Don't do it.
Yeah, Chad's like, don't try to
Just
compete
don't buy
with me.
them.
You're not gonna beat me in the West Coast
Chad's
Bass
like,
Pro Shops. I'm
don't try
number
to
one.
compete
Get
with
out
me.
of here.
It's not even competing. It's just I get people all the time trying to make their own baits, and they come back every time saying, "Man, that would have been so much cheaper for me to just go buy baits." If you put an hourly time on it, what it takes and everything else, and then
But
it's
I mean,
it's
Chad,
an art too. It's
if
gonna
you
take
had
a long time to really start.
if you had that same attitude,
baits.
hookup baits wouldn't be here.
I knew I could make money with it. And so it took, I spent hours. Like when I was developing these, I did 2 months where I was spending 10 to 15 hours a day just being a mad scientist, just making, throwing them in the swimming pool, making some more, throwing them in the swimming pool. I dedicated 2 months and that's all I did was develop these lures.
It paid off.
Learn how to make plastic, learn how to pour lead, we pour all our own lead. We put the eyeballs on there. We make the hookup baits from start to finish in San Diego. 100%.
The eyeball is covered too, because the eyeball I think is on the jig head, right? And then
it's on the jig head.
There's little stuff that you don't know until you fish these for like days and days and days. I was like, why the frick won't this eye die? And it was because of it's actually on the jig head, but you can see right through it.
It'll last the longest of any eye on a plastic anything because
not even close.
All right, so now learning about how Chad developed everything and put his heart and soul into something. Let's bring David in to start chatting about Wilder Side and you guys haven't. A lot of people don't know what he builds, but it's pretty stellar, and I want you guys to see this and learn more about it. So, David, the floor is yours.
Hey, and thank you, Keith and Chad. It was really great to hear your story, by the way, because I'm a little bit earlier in the journey than you are, right?
Yeah.
So
hey, actually, entrepreneurs are the bravest men in the world.
Yeah. So my dad was kind of a serial entrepreneur, and I saw him struggle, so I went the opposite route for the first 30 years of my career and worked for a big Fortune 100 company. But as two girls were going through college, I finally had the line of sight I had some spare money. So I bought a Jeep Willys in 2017. I bought my Winona backwater a canoe in 2018. I threw that on top of my Jeep Willys 2-door and threw a bunch of motors and batteries and stuff in the back. And I'm ready to go to the water. And it's like, but gee, how do I get this thing from parking lot to the water, right? And that was really the impetus and I started the company in 19 without really knowing what I was even gonna make. I just knew I grew up on the water, grew up on Leech Lake in North Minnesota. It's one of the big 5 lakes, 640 miles of shoreline. I wouldn't say that we went fishing out of a launch when Dad wasn't busy running the resort. It's in opening fishing, May 15th, ice is almost out of the lake. And we just go for walleyes, right? Yeah. And so fishing with shiner bait.
You're talking about Paul in my backyard here.
Okay, yeah, I almost always just fish live bait, and that was my experience growing up. And Mom made the best beer batter walleye. It's like that's the best fish in the world. Everything else is just edible, right? But and so I live next to the Illinois River. I'm not on clean. I don't have access to clean water. Actually, I do. Actually, there's a lake about an hour away that's got some clean water. I love it. But anyway, long story long. So I had this outfit, right? It was a canoe. My wife's a birder, right? So we love to go on the Illinois River and look for big birds, little birds. But that means she doesn't have a paddle in her hand. She's got binoculars. So I needed a motor in the back of this canoe, right? So I'm taking 240 pounds to the water, and that was kind of the genesis for the Freedom Launcher. And this is back before lithium ion was really affordable. So I had 3 lead acids in 2018.
Right.
I'm just telling
Oh,
you,
God.
I'm not going to pay $300.
Wow.
Well,
Jeez, in a
one thing,
canoe.
I have a 24 volt.
Let's see those arms, David.
I go to the gym, and you know what I do? I do canoe clean and jerk because the canoe's 80 pounds. I got to get it on top of the Jeep.
Nice.
So I just do a flip right over
You're
my
like
head
Anatoly.
top, right? So, but anyway, so it took a little while. I had an early prototype that was retractable landing gear, but it was wood and aluminum, and I got to get away from the wood and make it out of plastic. And so, kind of like Chad, finally in 21, I quit the job and I decided to go full time into Welderside. And I had this idea of a product, and the Freedom Launcher was on paper, and it took me about 5 months of a lot of trial and error, building prototypes in my garage and taking it out on the water and letting it fail and figuring out what was not working until it could survive a rocky, gravelly, tippy landing with 240 pounds. And I figured, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to write a patent on it, which I did in December of 21. And 4 months later, I took it to a trade show, Canoe in Madison, Wisconsin. And so I had a demo on a stand, and I was working with some suppliers to do some work for me. And, that was like right after COVID, like Canoe had been virtual for 2 years. So, I mean, everybody was so excited to like get out of Dodge and be there, and people were giddy and happy. And March of 22 is really, in fact, a week before, they didn't even know if they were going to have it, or let's see. They weren't sure if they're going to have it. Didn't know if you had to wear a mask. I mean, it was just all up in the air. But anyway, it went through, and I had it, and I had a customer, and he'd already purchased the competition. He'd already bought 2 Boondocks, and he was getting ready to buy some Titan 12s for he and his wife because he just retired. And he walks around the floor. He looks at my display, and I just operate the wheels up and down. He's about 50 feet away, and he goes, "Oh, damn, I bought the wrong wheels because that's the best thing on the market." That's, and so Greg was my very first customer in 22. But I tell you what, I had about 50 people that were knowledgeable in the industry, and I didn't know what I had. I mean, honestly, I just had an idea, and I was like, "Hey, this makes sense to me." I had about 50 people come up to me and say, "That's a great idea. Just keep, go find a supplier, go do this, go do that." Really encouraged me along the way, and so it kind of kept me in the game, even though business was pretty slow to get started. But I'll give you an example of my very first Hobie PA12 customer. It's up here. It's this guy right over here. That's Will Akers, PA12.
Nice.
First Hobie PA12 customer. And he's a retired electrician. He retired at about 55. And he'd been fishing for about 4 years out of that boat. And he was using the Hobie scupper cart.
Oh, God.
And so he doesn't have a trailer. He lives in Napa, California. So he's in the back of his pickup. And you put the scupper carts. It's easy when you put the scupper carts in when it's in the back of the pickup, right? And you pull it out.
David, can I interrupt for 1 sec? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Marty, can we pull up his website? Because a lot of people probably don't really know what he's talking about. So show that video.
I was going to do that, but I didn't know if you want. Anyway, I was going to say though that
it's enough of the hookup baits. Jesus.
Yeah, geez.
I'm trying.
We get it. They're great.
And then David, if you talk about it while people can see actually what you're talking about, I think it'll make more sense.
Yeah, right.
And also, I want to throw one quick shout out. I just saw that Cam Smith joined us. Just had a baby. He didn't have a baby. His wife did.
Congrats, man.
So basically the kind of the things that differentiate us is the fact that you can easily raise or lower your wheels while you're comfortably seated on the kayak, right? And nobody else can do that. Number 2, we can handle big kayaks up to 240 pounds. So you can see an example of an unlimited with an NK300 in the back. I've got a PA14 with an NK300 and a micro power pole, weighs about 225 pounds. That right there was a 136 with both, the front middle motor and the rear motor on it.
Right.
And so
Jeez.
the thing about and the wheels are wide and they go up and down. I think Wendell Fishing, if you watched his video, I think he has a native sidekick on. And I don't want to speak poorly of the competition because they do the job for some people, right? But he demonstrated how he raised his wheels, and he's basically turning around in his seat, kneeling on the chair, and reaching out and flipping the wheels up. And for younger guys, that's probably going to work okay. But if you got any sort of back issues or balance issues, or you're a larger individual, or your knees are bad, you don't want to be doing that to raise and lower your wheels, right? And
Not
that's what
unless
the
you like
Freedom
getting
Launcher
wet.
does. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Not unless you like getting wet.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had Daryl. Daryl was from Maryland, and he has a Frontier 12. And he told me this story. He called about 2 weeks after he installed it, and I thought, oh, he said, David, this landing gear. I said, yeah, Daryl, what's up? He said, when I installed it, all my buddies had the competition, and they were laughing at me. What are you doing installing this landing gear, this Freedom Launcher? That looks so weird. And he said, then I took it out and I walked to the front. I flip my wheels down. I walk to the front of the boat. I step out and I pull it up to my pickup. And I turn around, and all my buddies are waist deep in the water because that's what the only way they know how to, drop the wheels down.
Load and launch. Yeah.
So he said, now I had the last laugh because, it's just so much easier. So, if you're interested in having landing gear that truly is kind of revolutionary, allows you to raise or lower while you're comfortably seated. Customers tell me really it's when you're coming in, kayak carts, you can throw them on top, but when you're tired and the waves are, in the middle of the afternoon, you've been fishing for 6 hours, you're a little bit, you get stiff as you get older, Marty. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know.
Why are you only talking to Marty here? Like Paul's old.
You're 33 with gray hair. I mean, but you're stiff, and then all of a sudden you got to lift the back of the kayak on top of the cart, and the waves are shifting, and it's moving, the cart's moving, and it's a hassle, right? And one of my customers says carts are okay going out, but they're a devil coming in. And that was Mike Shannon from North Carolina, and he's on a native Titan 10.5, and so really,
you have to pivot like one side and the other side, and it's just like
exactly, and so but the other thing is I've got customers also that have had the competition. It's like they're just getting too heavy; the legs aren't holding the weight of the kayak, and so we have different product lines to kind of handle different scenarios. The heavy duty line can go up to 240 pounds, and it's basically has a little bit stronger mount structure. Oh, by the way, the other thing that I think people are genuinely and appropriately concerned about is the integrity of the hull, right?
Yeah.
Because landing gear, notoriously, it's like a big moment arm. It's a cheater bar on the end of the wheel, and if you get stuck in a rut or in the mud, you can rip your hull with landing gear, and that is a known issue.
Oh, it's definitely a known issue, and it's something that you void your warranty when you install it because of the way they have you install it, and so that's like a classic Hobie Pro Angler problem. Like everybody knows, like that might happen. Buckle up, and if it does, you're buying your own kayak.
Yeah, and so I've had customers. I had a tournament, a fishing guide and a tournament fisherman from Crystal River, Florida. He put it on his Hobie PA12, Carlos, and he's taken it over some really rough ground. And we designed the mount to be softer on the hull, basically by extending the front and rear bolt hole pattern. So whereas the competition's about 3 inches apart, we're about double that. We're about 6.2 inches apart, and so that really is kind of an engineering solution to that torque problem, because it's really the torque, I think, that tears up the hull. It's not the vertical loads. And so far we've had no failures of the hull, and we've installed.
This is a good video right here. Watch this.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
I'm the poster child for how to not do it, because I tip mine sideways in a ramp and drag it down the ramp, and
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing that. They're just dragging it, or whatever. But This is Will Akers, so he's had it now. He installed
those kayak companies, kayak manufacturing companies love those people.
You're right,
Their
exactly.
kayaks get wrecked faster.
Yeah, and the Kydex salesman also love those, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
But this is still Will and his wife took this video. It's still one of my best videos, and it's over 2 years old. But it's like he just did a great job. It's just
that's the one I was looking for. That video
right there. Yeah, that's one of my most popular on YouTube. Is just Will launching, right? So so we've had a lot of fun. I mean, since 23, the business has really taken off. It's growing every year. I have a part-time employee in the shop, but I haven't, moved out to the warehouse. I mean, I have suppliers and I've got warehouse with lots of parts, which really helps, and really solid suppliers, aluminum extruders that are helping me really deliver quality product. Customers are just excited, sending me great feedback. In fact, I got a feedback. I don't know if there's time, Marty, but on the website at wilderside.life, if you go to one of the products, they just left a review, and it's almost like he wrote it like a salesman. Yeah. He said, go buy a Freedom.
Are you talking about the one that you had like superimposed on top of the ad you sent me?
No, that was different. That was a really good review. But this one is almost like he was almost like a salesman pitch. Like, this Freedom Launcher is great. Go buy it now. I'll see, Marty. If you go to the Old Town PDL solution, scroll down.
On the product?
Go scroll down a little bit further. You can just scroll down on the home screen. Just keep scrolling down, Marty.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Okay, go up.
The what?
Go up. A little bit more. Yeah, that picture on the left, the Freedom Launcher kayak, just click on that one right there. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you can read the review that, and it's nice. It was a verified review. So, it's just like Ed from Arlington, Texas. He just installed it. He just purchased it like 3 months ago. And it's like, don't wait any longer.
Nice.
And anyway, so my customers, they just, I have a SCORE mentor. It's you basically free advice on how to start a company. And when I share my customer feedback, he goes, I've never seen a company that gets this strong of an endorsement from customers. They just love this thing, right? And, well, I've got customers who have a Hobie Outback. You got
except hookup baits, obviously.
Yeah, well, hookup baits, and yeah, they got a nice Garmin display, and then he says the Freedom Launcher is my favorite kayak accessory. And it's like, it doesn't help you catch fish, right? It's not like a hookup bait. It's not a live scope, but it's like it solves the biggest pain in the ass problem I've got, which is getting my kayak.
It helps you. It helps you go fishing.
It does.
Yeah, but
like this review says, I'm going fishing more because of the Freedom Launcher. So,
but let's say you wanted to go back over a shoal, way back in a river, and you want to get over a shoal, you could just put those wheels down and go to the next part of the water.
You're right, Marty. In fact, Will did that. He fishes along a river, and then there's like a little extension. He says I would have had to like paddle about a mile, but I could just go across an isthmus 200 yards, and I could get from point A to point B. And sometimes he would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
NK Sweaty, one of Wendell's favorite guys. By the way, he's from Omaha. Do you guys have any solutions for the Crescent CK2 crew?
Well, I haven't looked at that particular kayak, but I haven't met a kayak I haven't been able to fit up to. So there's been we've sold up to over 15 different brands and 40 different kayak models, including probably the toughest one.
Wow.
Recently was the Hobie Lynx, because you can't drill into the hull, right?
Right.
So we're using a through-hole scupper solution with an anchor. I even did one for a Hobie Tandem Island, the 17-footer, the twin outriggers, and had to kind of flip the legs forward instead of back. And anyway, so really, I do the design work myself, manufacture most of the mounts in-house, kind of like Chad was talking about with the baits. I mean, we're we don't do everything in-house. We've got some good suppliers, but a lot of the plastics, the mounting solutions we design and build in-house. And we really, try to figure out how to, one, make it easy to do the install, but two, make it really robust and as soft on the hull as possible. And it's been working really good.
Nice, man. It sounds like 10K Sweaty can solve your problem. I just reach out to him maybe and see what he can do there.
Okay, sure.
I've
10K Sweaty was the one on watching you live with me today, right, Marty?
Yeah, he was in his office.
Yeah.
I was in my office. Chad was in his office. Yeah, you were in your office. Chad was in his office. I was in my office.
I will tell you guys, I've used at ICAST like 2 years ago, the Wilder side.
Yeah, we were there in 24, Paul.
Yeah, I used it. It is the smoothest. That is not even close by far, by like 1,000 miles. It's crazy how smooth it is. I was trying to equate it to like something else because I feel like I've used products that are like kind of similar function, and I was like, what else moves this smoothly? And I haven't figured it out yet. But like, you'll use it and be like, this is familiar, and I enjoy it. It's crazy.
What's smooth? That the wheels going down and that part's the smooth part?
Yes. Oh my God.
So let's do that. Let's do the little demo over here.
Oh yeah, let's see your demo.
We're gonna make you big.
Yeah.
So
Marty's like God. He can make you big.
What are you doing today, Marty?
Man, I should have met Marty.
You are gonna have to move that website though. That's gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oops. I gotta
Marty
see.
is stepping up his game. He can.
Marty, now it's just a big gray screen. You got to get that whole. There it is.
Now drag it up.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
This is the lock right here, and so you just pull on the lever, and the legs go down, and so you're sitting. You can do this without even looking. Just up and down. You can do them both at the same time. If you get really good and coordinated, and you're sitting here, and you just reach back, pull, and do the release, and the spring automatically locks it into place, and it's just robust. I mean, Will tells me that it's working as good today as it did when it was brand new, and it's just been working flawlessly for him. So
what's the connection to the kayak on the back there? Show us that part.
Was that again, Keith?
Like how you mount it onto the kayak.
Oh yeah. So basically, you've got these two holes right here, and inside there is a mounting bracket. I can show you on the other side because I have it exposed. Oh. Now I'm getting a Charlie horse. Okay. So this for the PA. So basically, I have about 15 different mounts for different kayaks.
Right.
But this is the PA mount, and the PA mount, it's angled right here, right? So you got to take into account that there's about a 7-degree slope on the gunnel, and we take care of that with these little moon washers, because this angle iron is flush with the crossbar, but that bolt's coming up at an angle, which is controlled by this bottom surface because it's the common thickness right there. But anyway, this is how we do the PA12, PA14. And, we're doing things up to 225 pounds, no problem, over pretty rough ground. And nobody's had any reported failures on really any design we've had. So, yeah.
And different question here. Do you have, I see the one set of wheels. Do you offer like balloon wheels or other things like that? Like
yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Different
so
types
this is the sports version. And so all of this hardware is, stainless, spring is stainless.
But I mean, do you have other options for wheels, like the balloon wheels for
So for the Adventure, there's a more economical wheel. For the Adventure is a freshwater version. Save a little bit of money, but we also offer balloon tires if you want to, go balloon tires. 13-inch. Yep. So I'd say maybe 10% of the population decides to go with balloon, but usually they'll keep these for hard ramps because they don't float and they're easy to deploy. When you're deploying one balloon tire at a time, you put that thing in the water and it wants to tip the kayak because of all the buoyancy. So they're they come with some complexity. So most people will use balloon tires when they need to, and then resort back to these when the conditions work for these. So that's kind of what we found.
Nice.
Totally.
How do you hold up in the saltwater, David?
Yeah, so good question. So it's been, that's the good thing is that locking mechanism, it's working great. There's no lubrication required. And I've got lots of people in the salt, Seattle, North Carolina, Texas, all along the coast, East Coast, and nobody's reported any problems with the salt, either in terms of degradation of the basic components or the mechanism.
Okay.
And, I mean, Will Akers in Napa, he's in brackish conditions, and so he doesn't baby his kayak. I mean, literally, he puts it up in his ceiling, so he doesn't want to wash it because it's hanging in his garage. He wants a drippy kayak every time you go fishing. If he does it 3 to 4 times a week, so he's only been washing it like every 2 months. He'll get the salt off when it is the salty conditions. Not babied a bit, and because of that rotating pin just kind of self cleans. It's. I mean, I've been amazed at how well the system works. I mean, it's kind of like Chad. You invent something, you don't know exactly how it's going to work, right? I mean,
I'm still impressed every time I use my base. Like, dang, these things work.
It works, right? And I was kind of the same way. It's like now that I've got all these systems out, and I talk to customers a year or two later, and it's like, dang, it's just working great. I'm just happy. I love my Freedom Launcher. Yeah.
So do you, Chad and David, do you guys like your products? Or
No, I mean, it pays the bills.
all right, time to see a couple kayaks here, Marty. We've been on for an hour.
Yeah.
This is the first time ever we haven't had one angler, but never mind one of the battle anglers. We have neither of the anglers.
All to the rescue.
So actually, this is actually super fair to not have either of them. So let's just show a little bit for the guys.
I can talk about both of them. I rigged up one of them, a percentage of it, and then on the other side, I know that build.
Yeah. And we're not here to explain it. People can go and see the whole thing. It's just kind of to show a little bit of each one. And thanks, Paul, for joining us again this week. I know Jeff said he was available, but you really love hanging out and chatting with me.
See, so. I relished the opportunity.
I know.
It is fun.
Trying to get it in there.
Which one are you pulling up?
I'm trying. I took it out, so now I can't get it back.
Time for bed.
Uh-oh.
It's time for bed.
That was my wife.
That was
time for bed, Marty.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
What's happening?
It's better than a fire alarm.
Oh my God. Marty, go to bed.
Time for bed.
God dang, dude.
Okay, we have an issue.
It's time for bed. You're subbing tomorrow.
Oh. I am subbing tomorrow.
I know, that's
not anymore.
The problem is I cannot get the screen to come back on. I'm
sharing.
I'm
going to tell you about both the builds while you figure that out.
Okay.
So Jeff's build, the aggressively average angler Jeffrey Burlingame's build, is a that's right, an Old Town EPDL Pro 120. It's the new EPDL Pro. We got it a couple months ago, and what we wanted to do was Jeff and I talked about, we wanted to go a couple different routes. I went with like a river kayak, something that I pretty much figured out no one else is going to build a river kayak, and definitely not the way I built mine. And then Jeff's, we were like, dude, it's going to be cartoonishly loaded down. We're putting everything in it. So we wanted like both very far sides of the spectrum. And they're both kayaks we wanted to test out, so it kind of made sense. We kind of went with the DNA of the kayaks as is. So Jeff's kayak is a monster. It's that new Hobie-esque that they did. And we put 2 Garmin screens on it. I think there's a 12 and a 10. We've got forward-facing sonar on it. We've got trolling motor on the front. You got the EPDL drive. We did not put a motor on the back. We could have. But I was like, man, you don't even really need it. With that EPDL drive, like, you're flying. And then the real benefit, the real thing that I love about it is you get instant reverse still. So that's super clutch. Got a whole bunch of custom lighting that went into this one, a lot of custom electronics, a lot of custom 3D printed parts that really just make life inside that hull a little more easy, a little more fun. And then we have then we got the big old 16 by 16 black back on the back with 6 rod holders or 8 rod holders. I think he's got 6 on there. That thing is loaded though. It is fully loaded, and it's a ton of fun to fish out of. And he gets about, even just with the trolling motor, not doing anything, I think he gets about a little over 5 miles an hour. And then he's going a little over 6 with pedaling and running the trolling motor. So that is Jeff's build, and it is not a cheap build either. It's a spendy boy, but it's gorgeous in that blue.
And it's called the what?
We call it the Blasty Blast, named after Blastoise, and it's freaking awesome. We have custom decals for that one too. Had to be done.
Since we don't have the video, you're gonna have to go to the YakFish or the YakOff website.
You go to the YakOff website. Vote for Jeff. Sorry, I'll say the same thing for Floyd, just not as loud. And yeah, dude, it is a really fun build. You can see a bunch of videos on it. We've been posting all this week, and you can definitely get a good peek at it. Though, oh yeah, I forgot about the wireless foot pedal. So I want to claim credit for it. I'll give Jeff the credit for saying yes, but I grabbed us a wireless foot pedal. You can stand up just like on a bass boat and run that trolling motor with a foot pedal. Or you could sit down and steer the kayak hands-free and steer the kayak with a foot pedal and the trolling motor, wireless. It's pretty rad, I'm not gonna lie. And the slides are underneath the seat.
It is pretty rad.
Just boop, gone.
And as a shout out to Jeff and Paul and New Canoe, actually, I watched something today about the deployment for the bow mount.
Yes.
With the red.
Isn't that sick? I forgot about that.
I'm not going to say anything about what it's about, but people should go check that out because that's pretty cool.
Game. If you've ever had a trolling motor,
it just makes it so easy.
It does. Normally, you have to like reach way out, like way to the front of your kayak with your foot or your hand, and like bash the foot pedal on it because it's designed for a boat. And that's how you kind of drop it, and then it just slams. Like,
that's the first time I saw that, and that's a New Canoe thing.
New Canoe developed a really cool. You can see it on our thing. It is one cable. They're kind of like, I'm not going to explain it, but it's basically
just so people know this has nothing to do with Jeff's build right now, but
on his build. It's on Jeff's build. You can go see it.
Oh, this is on his build. Okay.
On Jeff's build too. It's a one pull. So the first stage of the pull, it actually disengages, like it presses the foot pedal to disengage the motor, and then the other one you just move it forward, and then the thing drops like super silent and smooth. Then when you want to pull it up, the first stage of the pull, again, disengages the clip on the motor. You push the pedal down, and then you just pull it, and it comes all the way right up. So it's exactly like how you deploy a bass boat. It takes one of the steps up, and it combines.
But you're not having to go like.
Yeah, you're not reaching way out. It combines. It combines like two cables in one. You get it for any trolling. It works for any trolling motor setup on a kayak. So it's on New Canoe's website. Go check it out. Jeff and I did a video on it today at Aggressively Average Anglers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. So it is really, really cool. I forget how much is in that boat. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, I think he did a good job of describing it because we are not going to get that scene back. It will not.
I'll do Justin's too.
Yeah, we got to hear about Justin's. Make it
fair. Yeah, pretend I'm Justin Floyd. Vote for Justin, maybe or not, whatever. But he has I actually really love his build. If I had an XTR, he's actually not too far off of almost exactly what I would do if I had one. And we did add, thanks Wolf of Walmart. We did add the swing arm. Go look at that video. I'm gonna post it tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, so Justin's XTR is how I would do it. It's minimalistic, it's simplistic, but it has everything that you really want out of a kayak. So the XTR, big, stable hull. It is a small boat. You sit up nice and high with that Millennium seats. Very spacious, and it has this amazing front battery hatch area where you can hide batteries, mount stuff, and you can walk right over it onto the front of the kayak and do whatever you want. Now he zigged while a lot of people zagged. He has the Garmin Force Current, which is what I have on my build too. And he has the wireless foot pedals, which I also have on my build. So I've used them, and we've used them in the XTR at ICAST, Jeff and I did. So that thing will push it about with 2 adults in it. So that's like all your tackle and stuff, right? You're at 500 pounds or whatever, 400 and some pounds. We were going 4.5, 4.8, and I don't know what kind of battery they had. I'm assuming it's a 24 volt, but we were cruising, and it is so stable with those foot pedals. It's amazing. And then no wires. It's super clean, and you get spot lock. So you hit the toe, and it does spot lock right, but it does it from the back, like the rear. It's a transom mount, which is really interesting. And what he did is exactly what I did. So I put a drag chain on the front, so that when you drop the anchor and engage spot lock, it allows you to face whatever direction you want and not just spin around from the back. And he did the same thing, but he did this with a micro pole. So he's got a little power pole in the front, presses a button, sinks that down, hits the spot lock, and now can lock in which direction he's facing, which I thought was that's super smart. He's got I think 8 or 9 rod holders, something like that, in the back, and they go over like right behind his seat. And actually, Jeff and I talked about this a lot with the XTR. You don't actually want or even really need a crate, and you sort of ditch the need for a crate, which I was like, that he's been in an XTR for a hot minute when you're ditching the crate, because that's kind of like Jeff and I both had the same thought when we first looked at that kayak. So he has all his rods right behind him, just and he's got the custom lighting, and I think he's got 2 12-inch Garmin units on the front. It's amazing. He did an awesome job with the build. It's
the lighting is insane.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. And I think what I really liked about what he did with the lighting on the build is he's got lighting on the exterior behind the motor, which I thought was pretty cool. So
we had him on round 1, I asked him about that. He goes, they do absolutely nothing, but they look cool.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's like we put custom lights in the back of Jeff's tank well. I'll do a video on that too. And it looks freaking sick. Like it's amazing. And there's absolutely no purpose for it whatsoever, except that it's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead into my next question here, Keith. For each kayak, Paul, kayak, what can in each one individually, what can each one do? Because, for instance, Chad and I are tournament fishermen. What is it going to do to help us locate fish and fish more effectively? One thing. What's one thing each one does?
Well, Jeff's build, the one thing is that what it does that not a lot of other kayaks can do, especially in tournament, with that pedal drive motor, you get the best of both worlds. That instant reverse is worth $1 billion when you're up against stuff and you want to stay on your spot, and you don't want to run spot lock, because that motor's a lot quieter than a trolling motor, and by a lot I mean like a ton. But it also hustles, and it's got the EPDL in it, so you can set it on cruise control and just steer with the rudder. You can pedal and you can still hustle up to that 6 mile per hour mark. And then when you get to your spot, you can drop the trolling motor and you can still stand and do all that. So I really like the combo he did with the trolling motor pedal drive. That really is the best of both worlds. Like it's hard to beat that. So I love, that's one thing out of many for that kayak. What I really like about Justin is I feel like it's the level of utilitarianism. And this is how I do my builds. Like I was saying, I like mine simple with not a lot, because I want to focus on the fishing. I don't want to have a bunch of distractions, a bunch of crap to manage, nothing to lose, nothing to break. And I love that about his build. It's very minimalistic, but it has so much functionality. He's got a lot of things doing double duty. So I love that about his build. That's if I was going to build one, that's how I would do it.
Nice. That answered it pretty good, right, Jed?
Yeah, it sounds good.
That's the thing with I have an Outback, and what I do is the motors to get me from point A to point B, and then I use the pedals as my spot lock, human spot lock. That's how I fish. And because I have a friend named David, and he's always pushing those buttons for the spot lock all the time, and it drives me nuts to hear that sound.
Yeah.
So I don't want that.
Oh, it's totally fair. It's really hard to beat a trolling motor though, man. I'm here to tell you, like when you, especially if you're like in a tournament setting, if I had pedals, I'd be full blast, both motors down, roll up to the spot, like 20, 30, maybe 30 yards out, hit that instant reverse, stop myself, creep in with the trolling motor and be casting. And it's not like, I don't want to wait. I want to get to my spot, get my forecasts. Is this good? No? See ya. And then go to the next one. I love it.
Huh. Nice. Paul's the Dan Patrick of the YakOff.
Yeah.
Thank you. Question mark.
Paul, on a side note here, Paul, we just finished the Paddling Magazine Awards and the Kayak Angler Awards. We just closed them. So shout out to Crescent because they won the Smalley, won the best new fishing kayak of the year.
Whoa! Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Why? There we go.
Just got announced today. James probably doesn't even know yet.
I'll text him. Yeah. Dude, that Smalley is slept on. Honestly, like it's really hard to put like a price tag on flexibility and just simple functionality. And I'm a little partial to Crescent because like if I was going to build kayaks, I would change some things for what they do. But just the concept of like, hey, mold it in. If you want to add it, fine. But you're not bringing a ton, not with this build. But they strip a ton of the weight out. They strip a ton of the cost out. They're one of the only ones making paddle first designs. And nobody's making a creek boat. Nobody, dude. And I've had that on big water. I took that to Pennsylvania for 3 days on some crazy rapids. You can watch me get drenched. If you know how to paddle, you're going to the Smalley. You will lose it when you figure out.
I have a Shoaly, but I haven't paddled the Shoaly.
Dude, if you can paddle, you will love that because where a lot of people get like scared being tippy, you're kind of more comfortable with it. I like paddling. I spend a lot of time doing it, and I feel super comfortable in that.
You know where I live up in British Columbia, and I have a Shoaly.
Yeah,
I haven't used the Smalley yet, but yeah.
You're in Shoaly water for sure, but that Smalley's nuts. It's like for what it is, I love it.
And I have a Shoaly as well with a Newport on it, and I created the build for the river, for river fishing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't use it on a lake.
It's great on a lake. The Shoaly's really good on a lake. Smalley's like so-so. It's not really at home. You can do it. I do it all the time, but not really at home.
Shoaly. I got a NK 180 on the Shoaly, and it's awesome on like the big lake Revelstoke up here. Yeah, it's awesome.
They got some new colors too. They have that timber color, which is dope, but they expanded seafoam, and then they expanded the like purple pink color that's all faded and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Man, if we had fantasy fishing for kayaks, you would be like the perfect guy, Paul, to do that.
I'm ready, baby.
Jeez, but Stephen asked, the trolling motor plus EPDL, does that run into problems in tournaments with only one motor?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what's so great about it. Like you pull a bar out, the trolling motor pops off, and you still have a legit motor built in with not a lot of weight compared to like an NK. You're not dealing with steering cables and any of that crap. Like it's all confined right here to one little tiny touchscreen, and it's almost the same size as a regular pedal drive, and it works just like a regular pedal drive, even without the electronics. So if you're like out of battery or whatever, it still runs just like the regular PDL. So you really kind of get the best of both worlds.
Huh. Nice. Good stuff, man. You know, we got to have Paul on.
Go ahead. I was just going to say to Paul, thanks for chatting about both boats.
That's awesome. Little rundown. NBD. You could, I'll send Floyd an invoice.
There you go.
I just text back and forth with him right before the podcast, and he couldn't make it, and neither could Jeff. So
I got you covered.
Yeah.
I have a question though, Paul, about you with your Smalley as well.
Yeah.
As far as safety, if you were to take off quickly and make a quick turn, is yours capable of capsizing real easy like the Shoaly would?
Oh yeah, for sure. You're eating it, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
But and I've done it on the Garmin because with the Garmin, it's interesting. We were talking about this when I was on with Ramel. One of my big pieces of feedback for them is they need an automatic kickback for the pedals, where whenever you take your foot off the pedal, it should automatically pull both of them back. Because my biggest problem is that there's really no safety mechanism. Like if you lean one direction, because I'll like lean way back in my boat, well, your left toe goes forwards. You're balanced out, like so your left foot will go out. Like just take your right hand and reach all the way. Look at where your toe is, and that when that happens, you're pressing the pedal, and you don't feel it because there's no tension. It's wireless. There's no cable pulling against it. So you just pull, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, we're going left, and then you're gone. I mean, it's over. That's a ton of power. That 24-volt Garmin has some freaking hustle. And when you drop the pedal like that, you're gone. I mean, there's not, the XTR is perfect though, because it's so stable. It doesn't really matter.
Most of the guys that are capsizing in fishing tournaments are because of that. They reach
Really?
back and still have it connected, their motor.
Oh, to their foot steer?
They've got a fish on and they still had their motor going, and then they hit the pedal wrong and it made that quick turn and they capsized.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, that's definitely part of that's the risk with any motor, any boat, any situation. And you just got to know your equipment for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, knock on wood, I haven't done it yet in 29 years.
Honestly, I think everybody should do it. You know, I have like Jeff and I kind of joke about it. The only thing that sucks about flipping is I use an external battery, so I've murdered like 3
Oh,
$500 Osmos at this point.
shoot.
Other than that, I really don't care anymore. I don't bring a lot, and it's all pretty much staked down thanks to Yak Attack.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really. I've flipped 3 times this year, maybe 4, and I've lost nothing. I lost 1 water bottle, like a Yeti water bottle. That's it.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Have you had, hey, Chad, in the ocean, have you had any danger of flipping your links?
I was just gonna say,
We heard a story.
Chad. One sec, Chad. But you guys just saw that Trevor joined.
Oh, there he is.
Up, Trev.
That's my competition next week.
Trevor just joined, and he flipped the other day and talked about how he got back on because he was wearing a dry suit.
Yeah,
and barely even changed and had no effect. But he also got some really bad news the other day of a really good buddy of his that that passed away.
Yeah, he's down here in SoCal.
Yeah.
What happened?
He's on a skull. Probably they keep saying on his kayak, but he's on one of those solo skiffs, you know, with a little gas.
He had an outboard on it, right?
Yeah, with the outboard on it and stuff. So I mean, those are like more a one-man skiff than a kayak. So,
and I heard he was also towing a SUP or something like that. Like he had a paddleboard or something behind him.
What happened?
I don't think so. Well, he was just inshore from where we were on the island at Cedros, and we were fishing actually that evening, just offshore from where he was, and that the winds were up, and there was a nasty wind chop, and that's the evening he went missing. It just sounded like he put a mayday out when his motor either broke or something. Then he was dead in the water, and then when he's dead in the water with the white caps and the wind waves like that,
sideways, boom,
and he flipped, and then somehow became the number one rule, especially like in the ocean when you got current and wind. That's when I flipped down on the pause last year. Is never let go of your kayak. I mean, that's once you get separated, you ain't catching it. And somehow he got separated. And they found his boat the next morning. Then they found him 2 days later, miles away from where.
Did he have a PFD on? Did he have his PFD on?
Yeah, I mean, you watch all his videos. He always wears
everything.
PFD. I mean,
all his videos. Marty, can you call Trevor in right now on this?
Well, put up his comment right here. It's on.
Line got wrapped around his motor, flipped, and dislodged the motor, is what he said.
Trevor was good buddies with him.
That's terrible.
Man.
All right, Trev.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He was a hookup baits user and stuff. He had a few videos where he shouted out hookup baits and stuff. I don't know if I ever met him personally, but he lived right here in San Diego. But he fished Baja a lot. So. But with my story down in Baja, it's when I was fishing the USA National Championships last year, and we had a 2-day wind delay. And me, I can't sit around for 2 days, so I sat around for 1 day, and then second day, I'm like, we're going to go fishing somewhere. And I found a point about 2 hours north of La Paz, Mexico, and where
I'm out. I have one thing to say. You can't sit around for 10 minutes.
True. And so we went up there, and it was sheltered by this point, and so like, cool, we jumped out there and go fishing, and my buddy wasn't ready, and then someone ended up coming up and talking to him. So I was out for the first hour by myself.
Right.
And I seen birds working right where the winds the chop started from the edge of the point. I'm like, I'll just sneak right out to the edge and see what these birds are doing. Well, there was a strong current out there, and after I made about 3 casts, all of a sudden I found myself in the stuff, like big stuff. And after 3 big waves came, and I'm like, whoa, those are gnarly. I need to get out of here. As I turned around to go back to the smooth water. All of a sudden, I hear the wave, rolling behind me. Look back, I'm like, oh, here we go. And it just it went over, and it was really nasty washing machine seas and stuff. And I had an inflatable life jacket, but on too loose, so it went poof around my head.
That, by the way, is my biggest pet peeve: is how loose people wear their PFD.
Yeah,
I'm done, but it drives me banana. Mine is like,
yeah, but Paul, especially the PFDs that inflate when they need to inflate.
I know, it's go right over you.
I won't
those
wear
ones are
one.
done. Like those ones, like Marty was wearing, like the Salis ones that we had up at Ski Otter.
I love it.
It's easy to feel how they're snug and they're on and comfortable, but the ones that inflate, so different. You don't know until they inflate.
Yeah, and
I won't.
actually scared me when it inflated. It was like,
oh, I would have been
like, whoa, what the heck?
heard a big right after that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
was in
won't
my
use
way and stuff, and so I ended up losing 2 rods and actually flipped my kayak over holding 2 rods. I was trolling a line when I flipped, and so
going down with a ship.
Yeah, and I had 1 rod in my hand, and 1 rod was in the holder, so I held onto the one when I flipped, and then while I was kicking, I felt the line on my leg, and I'm like, oh, the other rod's still in the holder, and so I was like, did the whole pull up the line with my foot and grab it, and pulled it until I got the rod tip and pulled that up and stuck that one. So I saved 2 rods. I still had the
Are you
USA.
sure it wasn't just a hookup bait hooking you because they catch everything?
Hey.
There you go.
But it was tough to flip the kayak back over. It took me 3 or 4 tries. I ended up having to crawl up on the bottom of the kayak, catch my breath. I was starting to get winded, like pretty bad winded. And so I got on the kayak and reeled my 1 line in that was still out. And, then got my rod situated where because when you're sitting there holding them, then they're like holding them like this, and it's all awkward. You're trying to do everything with just 1 hand. So I got the rods kind of like where I got them together and kind of stuck it under my arm and kind of thing, and that where I can kind of use both hands. And so I just grabbed the opposite rail, underneath, and just rolled off the one side. And I brought the kayak with me, rolled it over. And I was able to jump back in the kayak, first try. So getting back in the kayak was the easy part. Flipping
you
it
had
over.
you had the links, right?
But I had a
that
lot
doesn't count.
That was
count. Oh, I turned left.
Yeah. You're just like a seal sliding on.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm on.
Yeah.
Was
but
that
what made it, because I had a big 16x16 yak attack box on it, and a big battery that ran my big 9-inch Lowrance fish finder. My Lowrance was still on when I flipped it over, and I'm still using the same Lowrance today.
Wow. That was an
bulletproof.
HCS?
That's the Elite 9.
Elite.
Oh, the Elite 9. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing, I'm still using it today. That's what I'm using my forward facing on and everything. That thing never even blinked. That's pretty amazing. That's awesome. It was underwater for 15 minutes. Wow. But so, and then I come paddling back to shore, and my buddy's just coming out by the time I'm coming back to shore, and he sees the inflated jacket. He just starts cracking up. He thought I just got slashed and it went off or something. He's just laughing. Wow,
you're like, this is serious.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I was in the water for like 15 minutes at least. And he's like, oh, you flipped? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, man, you all right? I'm like, yeah, let's fish. And then 2 casts later, I caught a 12-pound grouper. So it made everything better.
Most Chad story ever. The only thing that would make it more Chad
what did you catch?
Like Wally was flipped, and he's like, "Yeah, I was reeling it in so I could get everything ready." He's like, then I unhooked the fish that was on there, and then took.
And what did you catch? What did you catch the grouper on?
You freaking would.
What did you catch that 12-pound grouper on?
Berkeley power bait.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like a MEP spinner or something.
Yeah. Well, that's when I catch the yellowtail on the MEPs.
Yeah. Chad's all talk. Like when he was up here, he was using rooster tails and MEP spinners, and red devils and 5 diamonds.
It's a Michigan bait.
I know his secrets.
Does the red devil still work up there?
Oh yeah.
The red devil works everywhere. It works.
It works freaking everywhere, and you can catch literally. And it's just a minnow. It's a very weird looking minnow. Yeah. You catch literally everything with it. Yeah.
Wow. I remember
bass in the spring, like That's actually a cheat code. Like on clear water, like St. Clair, you put one of those silver ones on there.
Let's
It's
see.
kind of stupid.
Chad, you should make a hookup bait red devil color with like just that red and a 5 of diamonds.
There you go.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
To make
I will
one
say
boat.
this though. I will say this about hookup baits. Before Chad came up here, and we might have talked about this before, but I sent him some pictures of the kokanee, what they spawn in the red and green head, and he made some baits that kicked ass up here when he was here.
Yeah.
And
There you
they look awesome.
They make
Nice.
kokanee. I made a Zach kokanee, and then last year for the USA Nationals,
We even
Chad
Chad and I even went to Bragg Creek in Revelstoke, and I showed him the kokanee spawning, and we were looking at his baits that he made, and we were like, dude,
nailed
let's
it.
go fishing. These look the same thing. And we were right beside like Rona, which is like small here. But
Yeah. But when I went to the Nationals in Florida last year, they have those goggle eye fish.
Yeah.
You know? So I made a bunch.
Yeah.
Went through the internet, all the pictures of goggle eye and stuff, and I made an identical replica of a goggle eye bait fish that they use in Florida, and that's what I caught my 2 kingfish on that qualified me for next year's USA team. So it's
and
like,
Chad, I'll tell you this. You know my buddy Reed with the big giant boat in Jupiter?
yeah,
He buys goggle eyes from the bait guy when we're going out of Jupiter Inlet. And those goggle eyes are $4 or $5 a piece
yeah.
to buy a live bait.
Well, that's everybody in the tournament.
Yes.
Oh yeah, boy, that looks just like it.
Are you freaking kidding me, dude? So I got puked on by a cabezon. He puked that squid up or whatever, and I pulled that out, and I was like, "Dude, what the frick?"
That looks like a little bit of like Dobby from
Yeah, I know.
Potter.
Isn't that nuts though? It's freaking crazy. Like that picture's undefeated.
Yeah.
Well, both of you guys have great products. I got to say that.
Oh yeah.
David, I want to say that on my Crescent, I'm not going to say the brand name, but my cart that I
You
use.
just said Crescent.
Oh, the cart.
The
Oh,
cart.
okay.
The wheel.
The wheels.
I had to take a rubber mallet and pound it out and pound it in to get them to work.
You know, if you're happy with it, I'm just like, you know what?
I'm not.
So Marty, the first time I met David and chatted with him a few weeks ago, I told him that you would be the perfect person to try out Freedom Launcher and that you're always out there every day, and it would be a great marriage to get you to try that out and get some content. And David, you're under the gun now. Are you going to get one or what?
I don't know. I thinking about it, but I'm working on getting 200 days of fishing this year. I'm at 180 something right now, but I don't know if I'll make it because it's going to freeze here pretty quick.
Yeah.
But
You're about done, bro.
What I thought is we had like that demo like you got, David, at our expo. Guys could see something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
And tinker with it and ship it back or whatever, whatever.
Yep.
Something like that, because we're doing an actual kayak show here this year. Where
are you?
Where people enter their kayaks. And we're filled up. We're filled up with the vendors. There's still room for the kayaks. Excuse me. And then I do want to put a plug in for tomorrow night. We're going to do a podcast. Steve Burlingame and I are going to do a podcast on getting into the kayak game for beginners.
Okay.
Just have a conversation about it and see how it goes. But anyway, both of you guys, the hookup baits is a game changer, and so does your cart. I mean, or the Wilder, Freedom Launcher, the
Freedom Launcher landing gear. Yeah. You know what, Marty? I'll just say, I'm not really trying to push the product, but people are coming to me. I've had customers who said, where were you 4 years? I needed you 4 years ago. That was what Will said.
Yeah.
And Larry Clay from Virginia, he said, he's in a Hobie Outback. He said, if I would have had this on my PA-12, I wouldn't have had to downsize.
Yeah.
To my Outback because the way we bring the wheels vertical, we put more weight on the wheels, less on your hands, and it's just so easy to use. It just helps people get out there more or better manage the heavy kayak they have, and stay in that boat longer rather than having to downsize maybe to a Lynx. And even we can even do the Lynx.
So David, here's a question a lot of people are going to wonder: what's installation like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's really not. I did an install in 75 minutes, but I've had experience. That was on a Frontier 12. It's really not too bad anymore. We pre-sized the crossbar. So one of the things that's kind of unique is that that rigid crossbar really ties in all four locations of the mount. And so you assemble a little bit of the handle. You put the spring on the leg, and then you really it's just installing the mounts on the kayak. That's the tricky part. Whether you're on a rail, like a Titan 12, or you have to a through hole mount, like on a lot of old towns. Most people are nervous about drilling into kayaks for the very first time. If you've never done it before, right?
I mean, I drilled all kinds of holes back in the day.
Well, but I mean, I'd say there's certain
Marty also is the one that developed the what was it called, Marty? The
snorkel.
The snorkel transducer holder.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay, yeah, right.
There's a picture of it. Wait,
yeah, but Keith, they're short and sweet. It probably is going to take somebody for the first time about 3 hours, about an afternoon to install it.
But it's permanently installed.
Yeah, it's permanently installed. Yeah. But most people, you're at least going to permanently install the crossbar and the receiver. Some people take the wheels and the legs off.
Man, I just bought my wife a new, like, one of those raising and lowering desks with like 4 legs.
Right.
4 legs on a platform. It took
right.
me like 4 hours to put that thing together.
Yeah.
Where is the first transducer arm in the history of the world on a kayak?
Sweet.
It was a snorkel, and I ran the wire through the snorkel.
Oh yeah, right.
And pulled the transducer up. And my actual sonar unit was a little tiny square unit that was, and all it showed was specs. And what I got it for was to find out how deep it was, really. But
right.
But that's how I hooked up my first sonar unit back. I don't know what year that is, 2004.
That picture is actually eventually going to be in the Kayak Fishing Hall of Fame that we're going to build.
Yeah, look at that. Well, that is a big wiper, by the way. That's a big wiper.
That's a wiper? Nice. That is good.
Yeah. And I got on I used to use a
Who's the guy in the boat with the dark hair?
The fat guy. That's the fat guy. That's when I weighed a lot. That's when I weighed a lot. And look at that bat. The bat. Look at the crate. It's like I bought it at like Walmart for $2 or something.
Yeah.
You can't see it there, but anyway,
you still caught fish?
I still caught, man. I caught all kinds of fish. That's a Wilderness Systems 135 ride, the old scuba diving one. That was my third kayak.
I got a question. So if you don't have no access to inside your hull in the middle part of your boat, how do you put the inside block in?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. So most kayaks will have an access port somewhere, but there are some who don't, right?
Yeah.
And
at the back.
So then the question is, does it have any track? But if it does not have a track, and if it does not have a hatch, the only choices are maybe you do a scupper mount, but I only do that for the Hobie Lynx, or else you're just going to have to install, buy one of those hatch accessories and install a hatch yourself. Yeah. Because you do need an anchor underneath it, right?
You can do the track on the new canoe.
Oh, is that the tracks are strong enough to
hold? Oh yeah. So for like the new canoe, like on my Frontier 12 loaded up to 220 pounds, I just attach directly to the seat rail.
Okay. Underneath the lower bar.
Yeah, the lower bar, that the Unlimited that we saw on the video. That's mounted directly to the track seat rail. That's a stiff piece of aluminum. That's how I mount.
That's an hour, like a half hour, 20 minutes to set up.
Okay. Yeah, it's very easy to do that, and then you can depending upon where you want to have the seat, you can just kind of slide the crossbar right behind it, so you get the balance the way you want it. So
yeah, well, so I didn't know they can attach to the T track, so that makes the new canoe it probably installs easier than most on.
Wow. Oh yeah, like I did. I have a video out, and I did the install on my Frontier 12 in 75 minutes, start to finish.
Wow.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're getting an hour and a half here. Usually we go 3 hours, David, or 4 hours.
Okay.
But no, I'm just kidding, Paul. We're not Bass After Dark. They go 3 hours.
We are definitely not.
No.
So with wrapping my kayak now, put a new thing because I used a Yak Attack cart, but I always just threw my kayak up on the sides, and the new canoe has those two like slots, and that Yak Attack cart fits right in those slots. Then you just dump it back over, and away you go. Well, that worked great until I put a wrap on my kayak.
You don't like your wrap.
Now you can't put it up on its side no more. And so I've been trying to figure out, now I've been backing straight it back to the water and just launching it off my tailgate into the water. Then I gotta, bring it around and move my truck up and then load my stuff in.
Right.
So, something like these wheels would be good for that, where I can't tip my kayak up on the side no more.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's a nice thing too. Like within where you have to tip it, then if you've already got the gear in it, you got to take the gear out, and you don't lose stuff. And so, a lot of my customers are just happy the fact that you can keep it level throughout the whole duty cycle of your use.
Yeah, that was the thing. Every time you tip it and put the wheels in, the next step was picking up stuff off the dock or the store and putting it back in the kayak.
Sound of fires bashing into the hull.
So Marty, if we got 2 more minutes, I got a story to tell.
Okay. Yeah, we got.
Okay, so I had a customer, and he was really frustrated because brand new Hobie Lynx customer, and he was using the scupper cart. So he's telling me the story. He says, I was coming in from fishing. It's 10 o'clock at night, and I get up to the shore and I get my kayak, and I hear a little plop in the water, and I go, I don't know what that was. And he gets home, and the next morning he goes, where's my drive?
Oh
no!
Where's my drive? He races back to the launch, and that drive is gone.
Yeah.
And he
$1,100.
I'm out. However much,
$1,100.
Yeah. So he said he's out $1,000, right? And I said, can I get a break on a Freedom Launcher? And I said, well, look, I mean, I don't have a lot of margin in this business, but I'll try to help you what I can. Right? But he's so happy with his Freedom Launcher. He car tops his Lynx. He's a salesman up in Michigan. Anyway, he was just like, I don't have that problem to worry about anymore because I don't have to tip it, right? And you can understand 10 o'clock at night is dark.
Yeah.
You're tired. You just want to get home, and it happened, right? So
I get it, because when you tip them, even the Lynx, I got all kinds of gouges in the side of it, even when I'm on grass. I don't know how I get them, but
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good
I
idea.
had a customer in Seattle. He waited 2 years for me to develop a solution for the Lynx. It's like, I want, and that's fine. Finally, it's like, okay. Once I got it, I had just a half a dozen sold really quick because people were they want a solution. It's because you can't put a hole in the kayak, you got to have a different way to do it. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys are both solving problems. Chad helps us catch fish, and you help us keep our kayaks.
Bring them in. Yeah, he'll help bring the fish in after you catch them, right? Just
there's that's the
Marty, go to bed.
That was a classic.
Oh man,
Chad has also helped swimming pool manufacturers sell swimming pools to people that would love to develop baits.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, we got
deep, 25 foot.
We're gonna end this show. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts?
Vote for Jeff.
Vote for Jeff. Okay.
That's right.
And yeah, go to the site. You guys vote. You get your name in the hat.
KayakAnglerMag.com.
Vote for Jeff or Justin, whoever's vote you like better.
Yep.
Fair enough, Paul. Thanks for stepping in.
Anytime.
But no, and thanks to David and Chad for the sponsorship, and Marty as always.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were such a great cartoonist. That's a great picture you drew.
Yeah,
I didn't for all that. Somebody else did.
I kind of liked it better when you were just like that in the corner. But
I'm going to put a caption on it. GoPro, stop recording.
All caps.
All caps. Yeah.
We actually got sponsored by Insta 180 because of that. So
nice.
We should have missed the dang whale shot.
Isn't it Insta 360?
No, it's a new one.
Oh, it looks 180.
We only needed it this much.
I missed the whole thing, and I had my back to it. I had missed the whole thing.
Bummer, dude.
And I heard it, and then I heard you.
We have it on video when you can hear it all and no one saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, pull the plug. Put
All
me
right.
to bed.
All right, here we go. We're going to end. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for
Hey,
being
nice to meet you,
All right.
Mark.